You look richer than everyone you know, and you have just $18. You're parked outside a restaurant you can't afford to enter. Your phone glows in your hand. One number climbs, your followers. One number doesn't, your bank account. $18. You lift the camera anyway, and you smile the smile they expect. The one that says, you made it. Your stomach is empty. Your tank is near empty. The car isn't yours. The watch isn't paid for. The life isn't real. But everyone believes it. And the better the lie looks, the less of you is left underneath. The first lie you tell about money isn't to others. It's the one you sign for. Rung 1, the leased badge car. You sit in the dealership chair and the salesman slides the paper across. $600 a month. 36 months. You can't afford it. You sign anyway. The logo on the hood is worth more to you than the number in your account. And the number in your account is $18. You drive it off the lot and your chest fills with something warm and false. People look. People assume. That assumption is the whole purchase. You didn't buy a car, you bought a glance. Rung 2. The address. A glance needs a backdrop, so you move into the building with the marble lobby and the doorman who learns your name. $2,200 a month. Your income is $3,100. The rent eats 71% of everything you earn. You do the math once and never again, because the math has a face you don't want to look at. You take the apartment. Then you walk inside, and the truth is waiting in the empty rooms. No couch, no table, no bed. You blow up an air mattress on the floor of a 1,000-square-foot apartment, and you lie on it staring at the ceiling. The view is incredible. You can't afford a chair to enjoy it from. Rung 3. The wardrobe. The car and the address create a promise, and now your clothes have to keep it. You walk into the store and the lighting is soft and the staff call you sir. You pick the coat. $3,100. You hand over a store credit card you opened at the register 4 minutes ago. The minimum payment is $40 a month. 40 feels like nothing. 40 is the trap. You wear the coat out of the store and you feel 10 feet tall, and somewhere underneath, the feeling a meter is running. The coat, the car, the rent, 3 costumes, 3 monthly bills that will outlive every photo you take in them. Here is what nobody tells you about climbing this ladder. Every rung up in how you look is a rung down in what you have. The car added $600 a month and $0 to your name. The address added $2,200 a month and 0. The coat added $40 a month and a balance of $3,100. Add it up. You're not building wealth. You're renting the appearance of it, monthly with interest. The tally was never climbing. It was always falling. It looked like more. It was always less. And the strangers who envy you are looking at the costume, never the meter running underneath it. Then the first month ends, the car payment hits on the 3rd, the rent hits on the 1st, the card statement arrives on the 9th. You sit on the air mattress with 3 pieces of paper and a phone that just got 200 new followers. The numbers on the paper and the number in your account do not agree. You move money between accounts to make the car payment clear. You skip a meal so the rent doesn't bounce. You pay the 40 on the coat and watch the balance barely move. Nobody sees any of this. That is the point. The whole machine only works if the panic stays invisible. And you have become very, very good at hiding it. And the strangest part is what it does to your head. You start to believe the photos a little. You catch yourself feeling rich on the mornings the followers climb fastest. The costume is no longer something you wear. It is slowly becoming something you are. And it isn't finished. Then you stopped buying things you owned and started renting things you didn't. Rung 4. The rented life. You find a company online that rents mansions by the hour for photo shoots. $2,500 for an afternoon. You don't have $2,500. You put it on a card. You drive your leased car up a driveway that belongs to a stranger. And for 3 hours, you act like you live there. You pose by the pool. You lean on the marble island in the kitchen. You stand at the top of the staircase like you climb it every night. The photographer says, "Look like you're bored of all this." You are very good at that. You've been pretending to be bored of money for a year. The photos work. They work better than anything you've posted. The mansion shots pull 10 times your normal likes. So you raise the stakes. A private terminal lets you book a parked jet for photos. $400 for 15 minutes on the stairs? You never leave the ground. You stand on the air stairs in your unpaid coat, and you smile down at a runway you will not fly from. The caption says the grind pays off. The truth is, the grind is now a second job, and the job is convincing strangers of a life you do not have. The bigger the audience grows, the bigger it expects you to be. Rung 5, the founder. Personal photos aren't enough anymore. You need a reason to be rich, a story people can repeat. So you become an entrepreneur. You register a company. You print cards. You rent a desk in a co-working space with a skyline view, and you photograph yourself in front of it at golden hour. Then you walk into a bank for the part nobody photographs, a business line of credit. The banker likes the deck you made. She slides the approval across the desk. "Welcome aboard," she says. $180,000. You will tell people it's revenue. It's debt. The business has made $0 in profit, not low profit. Zero. The 180,000 does not build a business. It builds a backdrop. You spend it on a launch party nobody needed, on a videographer, on a watch upgrade because the old fake watch started to look cheap next to the new fake life. The line that was meant to grow a company grows the costume instead. Every dollar you draw has to be paid back at interest, and there is no revenue behind it. Only a feed full of evidence for a fortune that does not exist. You are now in debt to a bank and in debt to an audience, and the audience is the harder creditor. The bank wants money. The audience wants proof every single week, forever. This is the rung where the math stops being yours. You no longer decide what you spend. The audience decides. They expect the next trip, the next car, the next launch, and they expect it on schedule. Your spending floor is now set by strangers who will never pay a cent of your debt. That is the twist nobody warns you about. At the bottom, you faked wealth to feel something. Here, you fake it because too many people are watching to stop. The performance has started scaling faster than any real income ever could. And somewhere out there are richer rooms you haven't entered yet, full of people you are about to badly misread. You lie awake that night doing the new math. The debt is real. The income is not. The followers are climbing. The balance is falling. And you cannot remember the last time those two numbers moved in the same direction. At the top, you finally meet the truly rich, and they are the quietest people in the room. Rung 6, the gala. You buy a ticket to a charity dinner where the real money goes. $800 you don't have on a card you're already maxing. You rent a tux. You walk in expecting to find your people, the loud and the shining, and instead you find something that stops you cold. The richest man in the room is wearing a worn gray fleece. No logo, no watch, old shoes. He runs 3 companies and he looks like he fixes them himself. He shakes your hand and says, "Nice tux." You can't tell if it's a compliment. You spend the night watching them. The real ones. They don't post. They don't perform. They don't explain what they own because owning it is enough. The woman who just sold a company for 9 figures is drinking tap water and talking about her kids' science fair. Nobody at her table knows what she's worth. She likes it that way. And slowly, the floor drops out of your stomach because you understand. You spent 3 years and every dollar you could borrow learning to look rich. They spent that time being rich, and the looking never mattered to them at all. You are the loudest person in this room. You are also the poorest. You realize both things at once. Rung 7, the apex. Word spreads the way it does in those circles. People assume. They assume the tux is the tip of an iceberg, that anyone at that dinner must be worth millions. Invitations come. Someone introduces you as an eight-figure founder, and you don't correct them because correcting them would end everything. This is the highest rung. Everyone is certain you are rich. Then you get home, and the statement is waiting. Not a photo, a number. You open the banking app in the dark, you add it all up for the first time in a year. The cars, the cards, the business line, the tally is not a small number. It has a minus sign in front of it. Negative $410,000. That is your real net worth. Not your income, not your followers. The truth in one figure with a minus in front of it. You sit in the dark and the apartment is silent, except for the hum of the refrigerator you financed. Everyone you know thinks you have eight figures. You have less than nothing. The gap between those two numbers is the exact size of the lie, and you have been paying to keep it open every single month. The performance reached the top of the ladder. The bank account fell through the floor. Both numbers finally peaked in opposite directions on the same night. And here you are again, back where it started, parked in the leased car outside a restaurant you can't afford to enter. The engine ticks as it cools. Two numbers glow on your phone in the dark, one climbing, one at $18. The followers don't know about the minus sign. The minus sign doesn't care about the followers. You lift the camera anyway because stopping now would cost you the only thing you have left, the belief of strangers. You find the smile, the one that says you made it. It comes easily now. You've worn it so long it fits better than your own face. The photo goes up. The likes start. Nobody knows. Nobody ever knew. And that is the secret nobody at the top will say out loud. The one the worn gray fleece already knew. Real wealth is invisible. The wealth you can see is usually a costume someone is going broke to wear.